Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pope.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things we're talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Pope. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. We'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. We'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause the times is the man, the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have live.
The man, the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have live.
The man, the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to the man, the truth.
Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Glad you could be here today. It is the 14th of January, 2015. 2015 for the year. The numerology of that is 8, 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 5. 8 is a number of infinity. It's a number of reciprocal energy, positivity. All right, so we're looking at today. We have a moon in Scorpio and a sun in Capricorn. Moon in Scorpio, sun in Capricorn. So what do we know about these? We know that the moon sign, Scorpio, is water sign. Water can either be still, but if it stays still too long, it can become stagnant, or water can flow. And when it flows, everything moves along with it, and everything is moving and energized and so on. Earth, the conscious mind, we know that Earth stays still unless, of course, there's something drastic like an earthquake that comes and shakes it up. But for the most part, Earth is stable. Earth represents the physical world. We have the fire, the water, the air, and then the earth, which is a product of the fire, water, and air. So we have our conscious mind, which is working on the earthly things, the physical, stable things, how we can bring stability into our lives, into our worlds. And underlying, we have all of these emotions of Scorpio rising to the surface. Scorpio is transformative energy. It represents transformation. In the tarot, it would be the card of death, which is all about transformation from one form to the other. Whereas Capricorn in the tarot is the card of the devil, which is all about looking past delusions, so that we see the physical world isn't the be-all, end-all of everything. It's just part of it. So these are the two we're working together. Remember, earth and water can be an island floating on the ocean, or it can be an island that is submerged under the water, that sank. Water and earth together can create mud, or it can bring nice, good balance if it's mixed properly. It can be the earth that grows something. So we want to pay attention how we use these elements and energies in our lives. So as we go through the course of the day, some of the aspects we're going to deal with as we go forward is we've had a couple of aspects that have occurred since midnight. First one was Mercury and Uranus, so the way we communicate, the way we think, how we're going to express and use our words and actions. With Uranus, unexpected changes in a positive way, so we're going to be bringing that forward throughout the day. We have Neptune, which is telling us we need to take a new perspective on the way we look at things, and that is in a trine with Scorpio. So that Scorpio, that transitions we're going through, is going to come as we take a different perspective on things. So that's in play today. As we get into the evening time, we have a square between Scorpio and Mercury. So a lesson to learn how we're going to communicate the words we speak. Later on, as we get into today, that will be expressed. And that lesson that we're going to have to go through. Remember, squares are lessons to learn. Once we get past them, there's a lot of positivity. Just imagine, it's like a wall. You get up to the wall, you can't get around the wall, but once you find a way around it, you've learned a great lesson, how to use that energy in a different way or more efficiently. And then Pluto gets into the mix here with Scorpio just before 8 o'clock. Deep transformation into Scorpion energy. The wounded healer jumps into the mix later on, a little bit after 9 o'clock. With Scorpio, the wounded healer is that part of ourselves that needs to be healed. So it looks like we find that healing that comes as we take a new expression or new look at things. Find out how we're going to communicate the lessons, allow that transformation to occur. And then shortly after that, Scorpio and Venus have another lesson to deal with. And this is how we're going to use our imagination now that we've gone through a process of change. Once we get through the healing aspect, it changes the way we look at things, changes how we're going to express ourselves. So today is a good day of transformation, good day of change, it looks like. Right, as we move on, let's look at the Jewish calendar. Today's date is 23 Tevet. 23 Tevet, the year 5775. If we look at the 5775, the numerology of that is 5 plus 7, it's 12, plus 7 is 19, 24. 24 is a 6, so the numerology for here is a 6. 6 is all about balance. You got the 3 and the 3. Balance themselves out, or you got 3 2s. You know, it's all about balance, working in pairs, working together to find harmony. The daily thought for today, according to the Jewish calendar, real idols. It said Abraham worshipped idols, as did his father, Terach. Abraham was an intelligent man, as was Terach, but Abraham came to recognize the falseness of the idols, while Terach stayed behind, because Terach never truly believed in the idols, never truly worshipped them. But when Abraham worshipped idols, it was with all of his heart, mind, and soul. Every hour of the day and night, it had to be real. Everything Abraham did had to be real. Therefore, he found the truth. The moon is 38% of the way full, making its way down to the new moon. We're 6 days away from that. Space weather solar wind is 391.9 kilometers per second. Planetary K-index is quiet, that is in a 2 range. Our coronal holes, we still have this one here making its way across but not directly facing the Earth yet. 45% chance of an M-class flare dropping down to 40. X-class from 10 dropping down to 5 over the next 24 to 48 hours. And our geomagnetic storm activity right now is low, but it does seem to be picking up in the mid-latitudes, going from a 10 to a 30%, and the high latitudes jumping from as a 10 to a 40% in the severe range, 20 to 30 in the minor. So we do have some activity that's going to be taking place. And up in the sky tonight, it says Mercury is pulling away to the right of Venus, now in twilight. Look low in the southwest evening. They're still only about 1.3 degrees apart, roughly a finger's width at arm's length. So we can see what's coming up tomorrow. We're not there yet, but we'll discuss that when we get there. And that is our cosmic weather. It gets us started today. UFO News is up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
Thank you, Dirk. Here's the sightings for today, or the UFO news for today. First one takes us back to 1994. On March 8, 1994, hundreds of witnesses reported seeing multiple UFOs at various instances, distances and colors such as white, blue, green, and red around southwest Michigan. The witnesses included hundreds of civilians around the town of Holland, police officers, and even radar operators from the National Weather Service. Around 9:30 p.m., operators at 911 began receiving calls about the unidentified flying object by several hundreds, reporting what looked like a string of Christmas lights way up in the sky. Because of the amount of the calls, 911 operators detached police and called the National Weather Service in order to confirm the sightings. The conversations that 911 had with the NWS operator were taped and later made their way to the media. The radar operator's voice could be heard describing abrupt movements of the object and multiple objects appearing on the radar screen. He said that he was seeing what could not be precipitation, especially at the height. One object was tracked moving 20 miles in 10 seconds. 20 miles in 10 seconds. That's quite a good clip. All right, here we have a story from the Examiner. UFO sightings in Anaheim. In last week's interview with Earthling, we discussed Mars colonization and how Disneyland's influence promoting space exploration with Space Mountain and the Buzz Lightyear character could be help in getting us into the Red Planet. However, we also discussed some other issues that did not make it into the last article. This was the issue of Mars colonization being important in the case of possible alien invasion. Earthling pointed out to me that we of the planet Earth are vulnerable. Just remember what happened to the dinosaurs. We are only one asteroid away from extinction. Mars is our only realistic option if humans ever decide an alternative home that would be necessary. But there is another reason why people may or may not have considered. What if we were ever invaded by space aliens? Certainly, if we are able to be invaded by aliens or even abducted, then this would make it even more imperative that we greatly improve our space travel skills. Such an advanced race might come to think of us intellectually puny humans as no more than animals to be used for their own purposes. We need to be competitive if such advanced beings, as reported by alien abductions, are really occurring. This conversation with Earthling made me wonder just how many aliens have been spotted in Anaheim. A quick YouTube search finds there have been some UFO sightings, possibly belonging to aliens in the skies of Anaheim. I will let you be the judge of whether or not aliens are really visiting our planet. Alright, so you got a couple videos here to check out. I'm going to move on to the next story. Going up to Mars, here we have some more objects that were discovered. Ancient cat statue found on Mars in the Curiosity rover. Definitely a lion right there. Here we see definitely a face right here, and mouth, eyes, nose, ears. Check out the animal statue on Mars found by the Curiosity rover. At first, because it is covered in Mars dust and tipped over, we don't notice it. UFO OVNI 2012 on YouTube, however, did see it and alerted the UFO research community right away. I admit it's hard to see some of the things unless we add color to our lines and can adjust the textures of the photos. The object doesn't seem to be made of rock, but like most artifacts found on Mars, are just 3D printed layer material. This kind of printing allows tech to be printed within it during its construction, just like they are trying to do here today. Alright, so we have a video, 2 minutes 47 seconds, that shows the various objects, and of course we know what these things look like when we see them, so we can't just chalk this up as, oh, it's a natural, because we know the difference. UFO Digest. There's a story. It says UFOs, alchemy, secret orders, secret societies, and the New World Order. Down through the centuries, this is from Brad and Sherry Steiger. Down through the centuries, very mysterious individuals have appeared at certain moments in human history and provided convincing demonstrations that impossible interventions are possible. A respectable burgher of North Holland appeared modest and simple to the alchemist Helvetius. One day in 1666, it was the stranger's incredible knowledge that started and inspired the alchemist of Helvetius' day, and though these learned and determined men never did acquire the philosopher's stone that would transmute lead into gold, they did fashion the seeds of the science of chemistry that has accomplished so many transmutations of the human environment and the human condition in the last 300 years. Out of the smoky laboratories of the alchemist Albert Legrand produced potassium lye. Robert Lully prepared bicarbonate of potassium. Paracelsus described zinc and introduced chemical compounds in medicine. Blaise Vignier discovered benzoic acid. Basil Valentine perfected sulfuric acid, and Johann Friedrich Bottcher came to be the first European to produce porcelain. While each of the above is an important discovery, there are many rumors that, lying amidst the musty pages of certain ancient alchemical laboratories, there have been recorded experiments with photography, radio transmission, phonography, and aerial light. Through the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, there were many scholars who claimed that they had received late-night visits from mysterious members of a secret society that had accomplished a transmutation of metals, the means of prolonging life, the knowledge to see and to hear what is occurring in distant places, and the ability to travel across the heavens in heavier-than-air vehicles. Numerous occult groups have been created around the belief that centuries ago a society achieved a high level of scientific knowledge that they carefully guarded from the rest of humanity. According to these occultists, certain men of genius in ancient Egypt and Persia were given access to the records of the advanced technologies of the antediluvian world of Atlantis. Many hundreds of years ago, these ancient masters learned to duplicate many of their feats of the Titanic of the Titans of the lost continent. There are persistent legends in nearly every culture that the tribe of elder race that populated the earth millions of years ago. The older ones, who may have originally been of the extraterrestrial origin, are the survivors of highly advanced terrestrial civilization that was destroyed after the last ice age, or an immensely intelligent and scientifically sophisticated species who eventually chose to structure their own environment under the surface of the planet's soil and seas. The old ones usually remain aloof from the surface dwellers, but from time to time throughout history they have been known to visit Earth's more intelligent members in the guise of alchemists or mysterious scientists in order to offer constructive criticism and in some cases to give valuable advice in the material sciences. A lot more to the article. I'm going to leave that for you to read. I'm going to move on to the last story here by Teresa J. Morris, Alien or ET Theory of Knowledge. Who are we? Methods, validity, and the scope is what we are sharing in the world of awakening awareness, as in consciousness. Being awake and aware of all that surrounds us and being plugged into the universal consciousness is not only a right but a responsibility. Wakefulness is a daily occurring brain state and state of consciousness in which an individual is conscious and engages in coherent cognitive and behavioral responses to the external world, such as communication, ambulation, eating, and sex. Being awake is the opposite in the state of being asleep, in which most external inputs to the brain are excluded from the neural processing. Epistemology is the investigation of what distinguishes justified belief from opinion. Knowledge, understanding logos study, is the branch of philosophy concerned with the nature and the scope of knowledge, and is also referred to as the theory of knowledge. It questions what knowledge is and how it can be acquired, and the extent to which knowledge pertinent to any given subject or entity can be acquired. Authority is most religious, other than the monism of one God versus polytheism of many gods. Question final authority as whose. Much of the debate in the field is focused on the philosophical analysis of the nature of knowledge and how it relates to connected notions such as truth, belief, and justification. The term epistemology was introduced by the Scottish philosopher James Frederick Ferrier. In Christian, Islamic, and Jewish mysticism, mystery religions, and Gnosticism, gnosis generally refers to spiritual knowledge or religion of knowledge in a sense of mystical enlightenment or insight. Christian Science, some forms of spiritualism, and what was called the New Theology. Gnosis and Gnosticism are almost always used interchangeably. This suggests that the term gnosis ought to be used to describe a state of consciousness, while Gnosticism. Definitions in the field such as social sciences and spiritual science is being written. Historical context of beliefs towards the action now unfolds. Monism is the philosophical view that the variety of exciting things can be explained in terms of a single reality or substance. Stuff. Monism is only one kind of stuff as matter or mind. Thing monism exists, speaking as a single thing. The universe is a monism, a physical dualism, and physical pluralism. Are we there yet? William Blake on Emery summarizes 12 points on which the Gnostics tend to agree in describing characteristics of the Gnostic mythos. Gnostic teachers and groups of the era of classical Gnosticism adheres to some who are called Gnostic. The Gnostics posted an original spiritual unity that came to be split into a plurality. As a result of the pre-cosmic division, the universe was created. This was done by a leader possessing inferior spiritual powers who often resembled the Old Testament Jehovah. A female emanation of God was involved in the cosmic creation, albeit in a much more positive role than the leader. In the cosmos, space and time have a malevolent character. It may be personified as demonic beings separating man from God. For man, the universe is a vast prison. He is enslaved both by the physical laws of nature and by such moral laws as the Mosaic Code. Mankind may be personified as Adam, who lies in the deep sleep of ignorance, his powers of spiritual self-awareness stupefied by materiality. Within each natural man is an inner man, a fallen spark of the divine substance. Since that exists in each man, we have the personality of the possibility of awakening from the stupefaction. What effects is the awakening is not obedience, faith, or good works, but knowledge. Before the awakening, men undergo troubled dreams. Man does not attain the knowledge that wakens him from these dreams by cognition, but through revelatory experience, and this knowledge is not information, but a modification of the sensate being. The awakening, for example, the salvation of any individual, is a cosmic event. Since the effort is to restore the wholeness of unity of the Godhead, active rebellion against the moral law of the Old Testament is enjoined upon every man. Emery's 12 points are in every consistent with the proposal set out by the Colloquium of Messina. 2nd century Gnosticism is taken as the principal model for all of these definitions, a practice that appears to be sensible. Feminism and the Gaia hypothesis may be a part of Gnosticism. So who are we, alien or ET? All right, very good. Good article. Read it through. There's a lot of in-depth information. You need to read it through to really kind of get the full gist of it. But that is our UFO news. I'll be back. We'll continue with the book of Revelation.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Continuing on. So yesterday we got through the first 5 chapters of the book of Revelation. Today we're going to continue picking up at chapter 6. Here we go. Chapter 6, book of Revelation. And I saw, when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder, one of the 4 beasts saying, Come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. And when he had opened the 2nd seal, I heard the 2nd beast say, Come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. and there was given unto him a great sword. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, Come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, A measure of wheat for a penny, 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, Come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God, and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And white robes were given unto every one of them. And it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants also and their fellow brethren that they should be killed as they were, should it be fulfilled. And I beheld, when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of heaven fell unto earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every freeman, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said unto the mountains and the rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb, for the great day of wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? After these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And then I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of God in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and they were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. And of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Nephilim were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all the nations, and kindreds, and people, and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes, and palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our God, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb. And all the angels stood round about the throne, and about their elders and the 4 beasts, and fell before their throne on their faces, and worshipped God, saying, Amen. Blessings and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving and honor and praise and might be unto our God forever and ever. Amen. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in the white robes, and whence came they? And I said to him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, These are they which came out of the great tribulation, and have washed their robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Therefore they before the throne of God, and serve him day and night in his temple, and he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them. And they shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sun light on them, nor any heat. For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them, and shall lead them into living fountains of water, and God shall wipe away all the tears from their eyes. Revelation 8. And when he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. And I saw the 7 angels which stood before God, and to them were given 7 trumpets. Another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer. And there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all the saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense which came with the prayers of the saints ascended up before God out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer and filled it with the fire of the altar, and cast it to the earth. And there were voices, and thunderings, and lightnings, and an earthquake. And the 7 angels which had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. And the second angel sounded, as it were with a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon a third part of the rivers, and upon the fountains of the waters. The name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters, because they were made bitter. And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars, so as the third part of them was darkened. And the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise. And I heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the 3 angels which are yet to sound. Revelation 9. And the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace, and the furnace and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God on their foreheads. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months, and their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it. They shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. And the shapes of the locusts were unto like horses prepared unto battle, and on their heads were as crowns like gold, and their faces were as the faces of men. And they had hair as the hair of women, and teeth were as the teeth of lions. And they had breastplates, as it were the breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was as the sound of the chariots of the many horses running to battle. And they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tails, and the power was to hurt men for 5 months. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath the name Apollyon. O woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more after. And the 6th angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar which is before God, saying to the 6th angel which had the trumpet, Loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay a third part of men. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000,000, and I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and of jacinth, of brimstone. And the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire, smoke, and brimstone. But these 3 was the third part of men killed by the fire, and by smoke, and by brimstone, which issued out of their mouths. For the power is in their mouth, and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents, and they had heads, and with them to do hurt. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils, and idols of gold, and silver, and brass, and stone, and wood, which neither can see, nor hear, nor walk. neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. Revelation 10. And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, with a rainbow upon his head, and his face was as it were the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire. And he had in his hand a little book open, and he set his right foot upon the sea, and his left foot upon the earth. And he cried with a loud voice, as when a lion roareth. And when he had cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices. And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write, and I heard the voice from heaven saying unto me, Seal upon those things which the 7 thunders uttered, and write them not. And the angel which I saw stand upon the sea and upon the earth lifted his hand up to heaven, and sware by him that liveth for ever and ever, who created heaven and the things that are therein are, and the earth and the things therein are, and the sea and the things which therein, that there should be time no longer. But in the days of the voice of the 7th angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of God should be finished, and he hath declared to his servants the prophets. And the voice which I heard from heaven spake unto me again, and said, Go and take the little book which is open in the hand of the angel, which standeth upon the sea and upon the earth. And I went unto the angel, and I said unto him, Give me the little book. And he said unto me, Take it, and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. And I took the little book out of the angel's hands, and I ate it up. And in my mouth was sweet and honey, but as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. And he said unto me, Thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. Revelation 11. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, Rise, and measure the temple of God, and the altar of them that worship therein. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread under 42 months. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees, the 2 candlesticks standing before the God of earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth, and devoureth their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. These have the power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy. They have the power over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them, and kill them. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put to the graves. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them, and make merry, and shall send gifts to one another, because these 2 prophets tormented them that dwell upon the earth. And after 3 days and a half the Spirit of life from God entered into them. They stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. In the same hour there was a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in that earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted, and gave glory to God of heaven. The 2nd woe is past, and behold, the 3rd woe cometh quickly. And the 7th angel sounded, and there was a great voice in heaven saying, The kingdoms of this world are becoming the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever. And the 24 elders were sat before God, and their seats fell upon their faces, and worshipped God, saying, We give thee thanks, O Lord God Almighty, which art and wast and art to come, because thou hast taken to thee thy great power, and hast reigned. And the nations were angry, and the wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou should give us reward unto thy servants the prophets, and unto the saints, and unto them that fear thy name, small and great, and should destroy them which destroy the earth. And the temple of God was opened in heaven, and there was seen in his temple the ark of his testament, and there were lightnings and voices and thunderings, and an earthquake, and a great hail. In Revelation 12. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and under her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, who was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto God and his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared for God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and the angels fought against the dragon. The dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. And they overcome him by blood of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto the death. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, that ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, and of the seal, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the new child. And the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times and a half a time, from the face of the serpent. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away after the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keepeth the commandments of God, and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. Revelation 13. And I stood upon the sands of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was unto like a leopard. His feet were as the feet of a bear, his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacles and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power was given unto him over all the kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life, and the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exerciseth all power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them that dwell upon to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from the heaven and the earth in the sight of men. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had the power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by the sword, and did live. And he had the power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive the mark on the right hand or on their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save that he had that mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of man, and his number is 666. That's where we're going to stop. Revelation 13. We'll pick up with Revelation 14 tomorrow. Very fascinating. A lot of symbology. We can see some of the connections and tie-ins with the book of Daniel. And as we continue to go through it, we'll pick out more, and then we'll get to a summary of the whole thing. So, onward. Here's an article at In5D, How to Refine Your Psychic Powers. This is by Michelle Walling. Do you see energy, auras, or hear tones or voices? Do you know who is calling before you answer the phone? Have you ever had a dream that came true? Refining psychic powers takes a little concentration and time, but with practice you can tune into the next level of vibration to receive messages from your guides and to communicate with various other forms of consciousness. From the September equinox to the December solstice of 2013, humanity was gifted with accelerated shifts in energies that have allowed for the activation of the pineal gland, which is the third eye, and the pituitary glands. When these glands are activated, they trigger the heart chakra opening, which opens a doorway to the higher self. The higher self is the mind of your oversoul and has the highest perspective and database of information and truths that have been previously veiled from our awareness. This new awareness of our connection to our oversoul and ultimately to our Creator is described in spiritual terms as a shift in consciousness. Society has predominantly been left-brained, linear, closed-minded, scientific. Psychic abilities, intuitive feeling, and creative outlets are accessed by using the right side of the brain. The pineal gland is at the base of the spine and activates the right side of the brain as it is showered with light. The pituitary gland connects the pineal gland, and when connected to the heart chakra, creates a pathway through which consciousness can exit the physical body and explore other dimensions. Compared with the gland transformation we are experiencing, our third-dimensional carbon-based cells are being transformed into fifth-dimensional crystalline cells. Crystals have the ability to hold data and to open doorways of communication. As our bodies transform, we will be able to communicate with the higher self and other forms of existence with ease. Everything on the planet is energy and has consciousness. Psychic communication with consciousness can be achieved by diverting the conscious mind, left-brained monkey mind, in order to allow subconscious right brain to connect with the plane of existence of that particular consciousness you are communicating with. Those with psychic abilities are able to tap into this vibration of energy for communication, as well as interpret energies traditionally unheard or unseen by most people. Most babies and small children are able to see energy fields around them until about 5 or 6 years of age, until the brain learns to distinguish between the inner and the outer field. Try this. Smile at a baby. Watch them check out your energy above your head rather than looking into your eyes. This explains why some babies look like they are fascinated with your beautifully colored aura, and why some cry at clouds of dark energies around other people. Unfortunately, when children learn to talk, their parents tell them that seeing people is just in their imagination. Most children have the ability to see spirits of another realm until puberty, unless they consciously choose to cut off the connection through fear. Some indigo and crystal children are born with the pineal gland, third eye, fully activated. If they are lucky, their parents will have a background in spiritualism or metaphysics and can help them answer questions about their gift, or can help them to tune in or tune off when they would like to. Fluoride in our water, GMOs, chemtrails, schooling, vaccinations, and television mind control programming are tools used by those who form society to begin to limit children from being able to continue the use of these abilities. Peer pressure from other kids who cannot see spirits has also discouraged many kids from telling anyone about their abilities. It is important not to push a child into development if they have fears about their powers, but instead to answer questions as they have them and let them meet people who have similar talents. Children who are meant to serve humanity with his or her gift will usually have their third eye continuously opened, regardless of their diet or their internal environment. Thanks to their guides and their protectors, these children came into this lifetime with the gift in order to help others receive messages that will move them along the spiritual path, as well as to help others learn how to access their own psychic talents. Everyone on the planet has access to his or her sixth sense. Some people, before this incarnation, plan to have their abilities to begin to unfold at a certain age. Some might have experienced this already if it weren't for the controller force agenda to keep the pineal gland clouded. Eventually, everyone who chooses to make a shift in consciousness will be gifted with the ability to use his or her sixth sense perceptions, as well as to travel with their consciousness to other worlds and dimensions. And here are some examples of this psychic power: ESP, telepathy, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, psychometry, prophecy, recognition, precognition, channeling. So there's much more to this article here. Ways that you can focus through meditation, prayer and intention, awareness and recognition. Spend time in nature, watch your diet, and work on chakra cleaning, cleansing, healing your body. See, there's a lot more to the article. We got a good video here. And at the very end, all of this, it says, consciousness has been trapped within our body in the past, but the walls are being dissolved. Our future involves telepathy and heart-based communication between humans as an everyday occurrence. Light-based thinking and feeling eliminates truth and openness, which is the key to ending dominion and control on this planet. Peace, love, truth, compassion are found within the new heart-based way of living. Alright, so good article. Read the rest of it. The link's available at firstcontactradio.com. And here is our channeled message for today. And this one comes to us from the High Council of Orion.
Reach for the positive. Channeled Ascension message from the High Council of Orion.
January 12, 2015. Channeled by Holly Hawkins Marwood. Transcribed by Holly Hawkins Marwood.
The Council.
Greetings, dear ones. We are the High Council of Orion. As each new year begins in your dimension, there is always surge of excitement and anticipation and positive thinking and hope for change, hope for new experiences of life. It's that change and that hope and that desire that creates New Year's resolutions, new determination, and new points of view. While there are many who might say, oh well, people create New Year's resolutions or they start to do things new and they don't sustain them throughout the year. The truth is that energy of renewal, excitement, or anticipation, of reset is very energizing and enlivening to your energy field. As you think about your new year and you plan your new year and you are making the changes that you desire at this moment in time and envisioning a new reality for yourself, whether it's quite big in terms to your ascension or if it's more focused on you, your body, your material life or your relationships, whatever it might be, understand that this beautiful energy of renewal is prevalent throughout the entire planet at this time. You can feel, not just your own energy and enthusiasm, but you can feel the energy and enthusiasm of the new, the renewal of the new year at this time, and, in a sense, feed off of that energy system that's so awake and alive now. As you think about what it is that you want to change and the way you want to be in the world, really feel the energy around you of that renewal and the excitement that's held by so many. See yourself, almost energetically, reaching out and drawing that energy in. You will find it enlivening you, exciting you, and actually allowing you to ride the wave of the expansion that happens at this time of the year even longer. We would also encourage you at this time of renewal at the beginning of the year, where so many feel that it's a chance to start over and to make new decisions. We encourage each and every one of you to understand that what you're desiring and you're wishing for is a potential within your energy field, for if it were not potential you would not desire it. You would not be reaching, striving, growing, changing towards it. So holding the space that it must be possible for you to achieve that if you are thinking it and dreaming it and desiring it at this time allows you to feel that it is possible. We would encourage you also, as you are renewing your commitment to yourself and your life at this time, to look at the positive energy around that which it is that you are working to achieve. Many of you, as we see your energy fields, there is a desire to move away from something that is not feeling positive. For example, we'll use an easy one in your dimension, is the body. So one could say I'm going to lose weight in an alpha, or one could say I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to start a new exercise program. And often that decision is made based on a level of dissatisfaction, of pushing away that which is your reality. While this may seem very obvious to some of you, but as you are working to change the patterns in your life to create a new reality, we encourage each and every one of you to think about and more energetically connected which is out there in front of you that you desire from the positive point of view, instead of pushing away, for example, the body that you don't want, really energetically reaching out and connecting with that which it is that you do want. What is it that you want? Move your life towards that which you want, instead of moving away from that which it is that you don't want. You could say the net result is the same, but as you can see, one is very positively motivated and one is pushing away that which you don't want. As many of you know, when you focus on that which you don't want, you are actually enlivening that aspect of it. Really dive deep into your imagination and your envisioning and your vibrational attunement to that which it is that you wish to achieve in this time of the New Year's resolution, energetic reset that is so prevalent on the planet at this time. As always, we encourage each and every one of you to be playful and enjoy and find the lightness in your experiences and the energetic expansion that's possible through that lightness and the openness. Be blessed. We are the High Council of Orion.
Very good. Warrior of the Light message. The moment that he begins to walk along it, the Warrior of Light recognizes the path. Each stone, each bend cries welcome to him. He identifies with the mountains and the streams. He sees something of his own soul in the plants and the animals and the birds of the field. Then, accepting the help of God and of God's signs, he allows his personal legend to guide him towards the task of life that is reserved for him. On some nights he has nowhere to sleep, on others he suffers from insomnia. That's just how it is, thinks the warrior. I was the one who chose to walk this path. In these words lie all of his power. He chose the path along which he is walking, and so he has no complaints. That takes us to our meditation, so go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale again. Imagine yourself walking along the path, and as you do, recognizing this is the path that you have chosen. And as if you have chosen this path, carefully look at the things you see along your way. See that these are part of the journey that you have chosen, the lessons you have chosen to learn from. And as you walk the path and you see and you learn, you continue to grow and evolve. You know that sometimes the challenges of the path are difficult and other times easy. For all is a process of learning. And you imagine yourself walking the path and you come to a mountain. And you begin climbing the side of the mountain towards the top. And a boulder begins to roll down your way, and you jump out of the way. And you keep going. And sometimes the ground is a little bit slippery, but you find your grasp and you keep going. And you step over the bushes that are in your way, and you keep going until you finally reach the top. And you look down over the land and over the place you just came from. And you feel good about yourself, for you know that no matter what the challenges or obstacles were, you continued to persevere until you arrived where you needed to, where you wanted to be. So just imagine yourself moving through all of the obstacles and distractions in your life this day. And just allow that to be enough as you make the changes in your life. Contemplate the affirmation, I act as if I already have what it is I want. It's an excellent way to attract happiness in my life. And so just imagine all that you want in your life and know that it comes as you continue to believe and overcome the challenges of doubt and fear that get in your way. So just go through the rest of this day and just embrace the challenges, embrace the lessons, and know that it always we are progressing and moving along the path that we chose. Let our subconscious mind continue on that journey, and let's bring the conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale. And open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That's the show for today, the prayer, the meditation. Just continue walking your path, my friends. Sometimes it's challenging, but if we keep focused, we keep persevering, we get where we need to go. We're all in this together, and that's the nice thing about it. And we have others to lean upon and question and work with and, help us along the journey. So enjoy your journey today. I'll do the same. I love you. Keep loving each other, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.